Well, good evening, internets and all the ships at sea. This is me, DP Knudten, for another exciting edition of BOOKWARD BOUND, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done. And what is that done? That done is the creation of a brand new book by January 1st, 2021, that I will then upload the press-ready PDFs to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, where I will self-publish a brand new book. That's right, and that book looks a little something like this. It's called NONFICTION BRAND, Discovering, Crafting, and Communicating the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. Yep, that's what it's about, and that's what tonight's about is too, because I'm going to be doing something to move my book forward in one way or another, and that might be editing, it could be writing, it could be designing, it could be concepting, if that's a word. I use it all the time, so it is a word starting now. Outlining, mind mapping, all that stuff to get this book done by January 1st, 2021. So what am I going to do tonight? Darn good question. But I think I do have an idea of what I want to do tonight, because it's where I left off last night. And that is working on a section that looks a little something like this. All right, so it's a brand new section, When is a Realtor More Than a Realtor? And it's all about the lovely and talented Leah Bach right here. And I'm writing about her, but one of the things I want is actually some of her talking, and that talking is going to come from the podcast episode that actually started airing this week. So I'm going to open up GarageBand and open up the right file so that I can listen to the actual podcast and find a pull quote from it, which I will then transcribe into the book. So open recent. I want to open Leah Band. And here we go. I'm going to show you what I'm doing over here. Come on, dang you. I'm going to move you over into one of my monitors so that we're literally on the same page, or on the same monitor anyway. And it looks a little something like this. I use GarageBand because it's free, it's easy, and over time you develop a real facility for doing it. And if you look at the whole episode, you can see I've got a ton of edits in here. I've got some promo sections. I've got an outro or an intro right here and an outro right there. But what I want to do is get something, a comment from her, and I think it occurred in the second half of the podcast. So I'm going to listen to this, as you are too. So bear with me.
For me, what I have as the hallmark of a successful real estate deal is that most of the people that I deal with become super good friends. Like, really, truly, that they become advocates for my business. So my idea of real estate is this. Do you remember that old commercial about cotton, like the fabric of your life?
Okay, I think this is...
My idea of real estate is this.
Okay, so I'm going to do this kind of bopping back and forth and manually transcribing this into Scrivener. So I'm going to start with my idea of real estate is this. Remember the, what was it?
My goal, my idea of real estate is this. Do you remember that old commercial about cotton, like the...
Do you remember that old commercial about cotton? Actually, I can pull this from another file. And what I can do is I can go to Headliner. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Headliner, let's see, .app is really, really cool. And if you don't use it and you have a podcast, you should be. I'm going to log in quickly because you can do all sorts of cool projects, and I'm paying $0 for this. And yet I have done 97, count them, 97 different audiograms for my podcast. What's an audiogram? This, my friends, is an audiogram. Keep an eye on the black and white image there.
This week on the Nonfiction Brand podcast.
My idea of real estate is this. Do you remember that old commercial about cotton, like the fabric of your life? Do you remember that? We're old enough for that, right? Okay. So what I view it is that real estate is a short and intense relationship. It's a lot of money. People don't do it very often. And I want to be that single thread in the fabric of these people's lives that helps them where they want to be. Like I'm a small piece of a very, very big thing. And it's a very important piece. It's their future. It's the dream.
Okay. I love that quote, that whole thing. So rather than listen to it and just transcribe it, I'm just going to grab the keystrokes and plug them in. Yep. Part of what I want to teach you by example is always trying to maximize the effort you already put in on one of your things. So this is an example. Headliner will do a transcription of the audio, but it needs to be fixed. It's probably 90+% accurate, but there's always a little bit of weirdness. So I take time to go through and I make it very, very careful. I don't paraphrase what she's saying. It's literal. I think there's power in being literal, especially with quotes from people. So, lives. And by bopping back and forth, I'm adding a lot of words, wonderful words to my book that, frankly, I don't have to write. And that's a very wonderful thing because I'll be honest with you, I'm a very lazy writer. I have a lot of ideas. I want to get them on paper, but I want to do it in the easiest way possible because I'm not about typing. Writing is not about typing. It's about organizing ideas into cogent arguments that are attractive to readers. All right, so I'm going to credit this to her, Leah Bach, episode number, what is this, 97, I think, 97. So we'll go on. I don't need the Fiction brand. See, if I were a writer who was judged by his typing, I'm a really crappy writer. Just saying. And unfortunately, it's true. Nonfiction brand, comma, episode 97. And this I'm going to take out of italic. So I've got that, but there's another section I know where we talked about seafoam green, because I want to talk about this photograph, which is so illustrative. Hold on, why is this? There we go. This is so illustrative of Leah Bach. I love the picture, and I want to talk about how it's a great emblem for her brand. And I want to remember what it is, where it is. Where's the? We talk about the photo.
It's a garage for anybody who, because here in Wisconsin, you know, to have a story. It's not just about the garage. It's about motorcycles, ATVs, boats, even a snowboard.
And part of that vein is also reducing fire friction. I find
that is that the hydroline or what, you could creep over into that area and build a mammoth vegetable garden and an herb base and strategic.
I'm always like, people, this is so easy. It's like low-hanging fruit. You have.
I'm going to ask you about, and the only reason I'm asking is because you brought it up in your comedy set. Who gets it? And I don't just mean how to sell different things. Agency, your music store. I only bring it up to both, completely free to be.
All right, it's at the beginning.
And the opposite side of that.
I don't remember being out. Well, exactly. I was really nervous about it because one, I had the COVID conversation on the plane.
Okay, COVID.
I didn't have the COVID.
We talk about COVID
I remember
a little bit.
Meeting. I remember your card. I remember your discussion about being organic. I'm going to say unaffected branding.
Hold on, why is my system audio not coming out over Ecamm Live? Hold on. Preferences, audio. Broadcast system audio all the time. Why is it not showing up? Huh. That is strange to me. Oh, I know why. Because it's actually in here. Audio. Output device is system setting. Input device. Yeah, so let's see. Nonfiction branding. There we go. Figured it out. Yeah.
Which is the thing that I find so attractive about it.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love you. I love you. Kidding. You know, it's like I slap on a layer of Gucci on, which is no makeup, no nothing, and used to be like a 1970s vehicle of some sort. Is it like a seafoam green or something like that?
Yeah, it actually, that color drove, like I had started with the Tiffany blue, little starchy, little more sooty kind of branding, because this has been a 12.
Okay.
It actually, that color drove, like I had.
Hold on, I need to turn this up so I can hear it. I hope it doesn't do any weird audio for you guys. Is it like a seafoam green or something like that?
Yeah, it actually, that color drove.
That color drove. That color drove.
Yeah, it actually, that color drove, like I had gone from,
Like I had gone from.
That color drove, like I had gone from, I had started with the Tiffany.
I had started with the Tiffany
Blue,
Tiffany blue, little starchy,
little more sooty, kind of
starchy, a little more suit-y.
sooty kind of branding, because this has been a 12-year.
Sooty kind of branding. This has been a 12-year what?
Starchy, little more sooty kind of brand.
Sooty kind of
Branding, because this has been a 12-year evolution, right?
This has been a 12-year evolution, right?
This has been a 12-year evolution, right? So it went from that, and then that color sort of, it led me in.
So I went from that, and that color sort of
Then that color sort of, it led me into soft.
It led me into soft.
That color sort of, it led me into softening the blue a lot.
Into softening the blue a lot. Did she say a lot?
It led me into softening the blue a lot more.
A lot more, period.
And lightening up the signature and making it.
And lightening up the signature and making it
Softening the blue a lot more and lightening up the signature and making it more organic. Like I was going to.
more organic. Like I was going to use, I think it's my actual signature.
Lightening up the signature and making it more organic. Like I was going to use my real signature.
Use my real, oops. My real signature. I don't think I'm going to necessarily use all of this, but we'll see.
My real signature, but I write like a doctor.
But I write like a doctor.
But I write like a doctor.
Right.
And so it just looks like, ugh.
Doctor. And so it just looks like burger.
It's a little too much, right?
It's a little too much, comma, right?
It needs to be identifiable.
It needs to be identifiable.
Be identifiable. I've been writing my name so long.
I've been writing my name so long.
I've been writing my name so long. It's really just an L with a line.
Long. It's really just an L with a line.
L with a line. Yeah, so that color led me into this other blue that I used in the branding.
So what was that sentence?
Yeah, so that color led me into.
Yeah, so that color led me into.
So that color led me into this other blue that I used in the branding.
Into this other blue that I use for the branding. Copy this. All right, so I got 2 pull quotes from the episode, which is good. I'm going to be editing this weekend the second half of the episode, or the second of 2 episodes. My podcast is always 2 episodes with the same person, because by the time I'm kind of halfway through the first, or by the time the first one's done, I'm like, I'm just starting to get to know you and find out the interesting stuff about you. We need to continue on. And so my podcast style is have an A episode with somebody and a B episode. Both are about 20, 25, 30 minutes long. And you get to introduce to them in the first one. And in the second one, you get to know them better, specifically something that might be a little bit more in depth about them. It's a great way to do a podcast. It's much easier for me to schedule 26 interviews a year and do it every single week than 52 interviews a year. So that's a killer tip I'd give you too. If you're doing a podcast, instead of a new person every single week, go deeper with the same person over 2 weeks or more. That's at least my style. Anyway, so I've got this quote that's about the color of the car in this image. So there she is. She looks great. She's in this car. You may not be able to tell, but it's kind of a seafoam green. It definitely has a little bit of Tiffany turquoise feel to it, but it's a lot more approachable and a little less bougie. And maybe that's a great line. I should, from Tiffany turquoise to like so many realtors. Oh, I'm going to actually add this below, I think. Like so many realtors. Comma, Leah started out wanting to project success by equating it to graphic to by equating it to monetary elements like the unique turquoise. I think it's turquoise. Color. Tiffany. Is it Tiffany Jewelers? Is that the name of their company? Tiffany Jeweler. Tiffany & Co. That's good. Tiffany & Co. Tiffany ampersand Co. uses God, what is that? Oh, because it thinks it's the uses for its packaging so successfully, so effectively, since I don't want to repeat. So effectively. Huh. I mean, all one need do is see that unique, that one of a kind color. All one do is see a woman with bag sporting that one of a kind color from 3 blocks away, and all one need do is see someone. How about someone with a bag sporting that one-of-a-kind color from 3 blocks away, and you know somebody's getting something special. But over time, as Leah makes clear, the color felt maybe a little too bougie. How do you spell bougie? Look. How to spell bougie. No, it is that bougie. A little too bougie. Quote. For her completely true personal style and brand. So she started softening the color to a shade, or let's call it a tint, because it is adding white to a tint that was more in tune with all the details about all the little details about her. I completely love the photo. Well, you can't tell here since it's reproduced in grayscale. The car in the pic has fantastic seafoam, not seafoam green paint job. The car in the pic appears, it has a fantastic the car itself looks to be of 1950s vintage, which is another cool brand statement for Ms. Bach. While other realtors again flaunting their while other realtors preen and prance up to a new home listing in their late model power car of power brand automobile of choice, Leah makes it clear that she's more interested in comfort, personality, comfort, and in comfort, funky style, in, let's say, in 100% cotton comfort, cotton comfort, funky style, and projecting a kind of, hey, girl, enthusiasm, which I can never spell. Thanks for autofill. Enthusiasm that makes me want to choose her to be my real estate expert. Is that a coincidence? Is that strictly a coincidence, or a really well thought out strategy based on who she is, what she does, and how she does it? Okay, and then it goes into the second quote. Boom. That's great. I'm loving it. I'm going to have to go through this again and clean things up and add to it. So this section is not done by any means, but it's right now at 739 words, which translates into a reading time of 2 minutes and 57 seconds. And I'm doing this at an assumption of each page of my book is going to be about 300 words. So let's see how this plays out. 739 divided by 300 equals just about 2.5 pages. Add the photo in up here, which will take up significant space. That's easily 3 pages. Fantastic. Because I'm doing a lot of these mini case stories in the book with a lot of the people I've had on my podcast. I anticipate that I'm going to be between 4 and 5 pages for each one of these case stories. That's a strategic choice right there. I want to introduce you to someone who you should follow on social media because they're a great example of what you should do and how you should do it. And I'm going to give you enough background into them so that you understand why they're doing what they're doing, and also the lengths of strategy they've gone through to define themselves so that they can be incredibly consistent in doing their social media activity. And you know what? I didn't turn on my neon. Dang it. Damn. There you go. I got that cool thing. It's like a Stratocaster guitar thing. It reminds me of my brother who gave me one that I broke. So, and he's passed away. So every time I look at it, I think of my brother Tom. Hi, Tom. And he's my good luck charm. Anyway, each of these sections is going to be 4 to 5 pages in length, I think. And this is a great example of what it's going to look like. I want to make sure to have a photo of what they're doing. Maybe I'll have more than one picture, depending on what they, what their main thing is. And it'll be very much like my first book, Rotoma, the ROI of Social Media, Top of Mind. I think people learn best through stories, not through checklists, although checklists are helpful. But I mean, to understand someone's philosophy, actually take a page right out of the early Greeks. They didn't talk about difficult concepts of philosophy and anything other than stories. They told stories, the Platonic stories of Socrates, with the shadows against the wall of a cave, and the theory of forms and all that stuff. Those were all stories that were taking difficult concepts and turning it into something that people could be excited by, engage with, and remember. So that I'm doing the same thing with this book, although certainly not going to have the human impact of someone like Aristotle, Socrates, or Plato. I'm going to have the impact of Play-Doh, not Plato. Wah, wah. Anyway, I'm feeling good about this tonight. I don't think I'm going to add to it because I think it's at a good space. So what I am going to do is I'm going to sign off, because the worst thing I could do is wear myself out, because I still have a buttload more of these go lives to do. In fact, I want to get this number right. So I'm going to look at my YouTube page. Here, I'll show it to you. You can see this is my live pages. I'm going live right now, which is cool. The 28th. This is it's July 1st. Holy crap. This is my last one. June 30th. 150. So this is 116. This is episode 116, meaning it's day 116 out of 301. Yikes. I'm actually doing really well with the book. I'm very excited about it, but I still have almost 200 days, a little less than 200 days to go on this thing to get this book done. So I have plenty of time. What I don't need to do is burn myself out early so that I stop working on the book. Making a commitment to you to come out here and write this book every night was a way to keep a commitment to myself. And I really, really want to thank you for helping me keep that commitment, because if it weren't for you, or the fear of people mocking me for, I thought you were going to do 301 consecutive days. If it weren't for fear of that mocking, I probably would let this slide a little bit, but I'm not. I'm actually moving the book forward, getting a lot done, adding to it, getting inspired by it. Tonight's a really good night. Last night, I think I was a little bit tired, but every day's different. And that's the key. If you're a writer, you have to write every single day. I didn't say you had to write 15 pages. I didn't say you had to write 5,000 words. I didn't say you had to write anything good. I just said you had to write every single day, because writers write. When I was in high school, I always thought I wanted to be a writer, because I was kind of snooty, a little bit elitist, well, a lot elitist probably, a little bit of snobbiness, a big fan of PBS and all those Masterpiece Theater shows and stuff like that. And I always fancied myself a writer. There's only one problem with that, though. I never wrote anything. I wasn't on the student newspaper. I did a little bit of this and that, but I wasn't a writer. How can you call yourself a writer if you don't write? So if you want to be a writer, you have to write every single day, which is why I'm doing it here with you in real time. I want to thank you for watching this tonight. and also ask you to come back tomorrow night around the same time, because it's typically about 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time or Central Daylight Time right now here in the United States of America, which is UTC -6 currently for all of you international viewers. And I'll be back here tomorrow, general same time, and I hope you can be there too. I'd like to also invite you to check out the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every Monday. And in fact, you'll meet Leah, who I was just showing you. Hey, say hi, Leah. Hold on. There we go. Hi guys. I'm Leah Bach. How are you? Hi. Anyway, she's on this week's episode of Nonfiction Brand, and you get to meet her and hear some of the quotes I just transcribed in real time in her voice. Comes out every Monday, and you can find it anywhere you get your podcasts for free, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, blah, 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 blah. Just any place you get podcasts, or if you're using a podcast app on your phone, just type in Nonfiction Brand, and you're very likely to see this face in black and white. And then you'll know you're at the right place. Check it out. And if you like it, please like, subscribe, refer it to others, and most of all, review it wherever you get your podcast so that other people can find it. I could really use that help, and I really appreciate it. That's it for me tonight. I'm DP Knudten for all things Nonfiction Brand. Thanks for watching. Theme music, take us on out. All right, that's it for tonight. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.